Hey friends, Joe Edelmann here with a special edition gear demo video for a pedal that I absolutely love. This is the newest revision of the Oxford Drive from the King of Gear. If you watch my channel and if you're a Radiohead obsessive like myself, you probably already know all about the King of Gear and his website and the wonderful pedals that he makes. If not though, you should absolutely check it out at the link shown here and in the description, and consider joining his mailing list to find out when you can buy this pedal. He releases pedals in small batches, and hint hint, the latest batch for this new Oxford design should be releasing very soon. The Oxford Drive is his take on two iconic Marshall distortion pedal designs, the Shredmaster and the Guv'nor, that were most notably put to use by Johnny Greenwood, Ed O'Brien, and even Tom York of Radiohead during the band's classic period. While you can still occasionally find used versions of these long out-of-print pedals separately, the Oxford is a great way to get both of their signature sounds, plus some added features, in a small footprint for a solid price. The Oxford costs $190 US plus $10 shipping if you're in the US. Otherwise, it's $25 shipping to Mexico and Canada, $35 internationally, or there's also a $65 express international option. I've been using version 1 of the Oxford Drive since I bought it back in early 2019, and it was later modded by the King to include a few of these latest improvements. For those longtime viewers of this channel, you've probably seen it in my gear demos and pedalboard breakdowns, and you've heard it on nearly all of my Radiohead covers since then, especially ones like Just and My Iron Lung, where it was used in conjunction with a Fender 85 amp and lace sensor pickups for Johnny's signature burn. Apart from accomplishing this distinctively massive and smooth high gain tone, it has a lot of flexibility that comes from its 3-band EQ and the added clipping and voice selection options. So the controls on the Oxford are fairly straightforward. At the top you have your EQ section. This includes a bass knob on the left, a treble knob on the right, and what's called a contour knob in the middle. You'll notice it's not just called a mids control, since there's a bit of interactivity with the treble frequencies that goes on when you turn it up or down. When it's turned down, the mids are boosted and the trebles are slightly attenuated, and as you turn it up, the pedal scoops mids, but it also adds a bit of treble. Also important to note is that the bass knob is logarithmic in its taper, so to actually get more bass cut, you're going to need to set it on the low side between 7 and 9 o'clock. On the bottom right, you have your gain and volume controls. There's a pretty wide range of gain on tap, and so with the right EQ and clipping settings, you can get into light overdrive territory rather than just straight distortion. For me, when I'm using the basic Johnny Shredmaster style, I keep the gain at or past 3 o'clock and the volume around noon or so. This thing can really get loud and push your amp around if you want it to, but it sounds great even at bedroom volumes. Finally, on the bottom left, you have 2 toggle switches. The first is a 3-way toggle that selects what configuration of diodes that the pedal uses to clip the signal. The first is SI, or silicon, which is the standard heavily compressed, high-gain distortion sound akin to the Shredmaster. The second is LED clipping, which is more open-sounding, louder, and less compressed, and is based on the Guv'nor design. third is ASIM, or asymmetrical clipping, which uses the silicon and LED in tandem for a best of both worlds that's fairly warm and dynamic, and to my ears maybe the most amp-like of the three. The second and newly added two-way toggle switch, which is labeled 91 and 88, is the voicing switch. So the 91 voicing is the same as the previous version of the Oxford Drive, which emulates the Shredmaster's slightly darker profile. The 88 mode is a brighter voicing that's rooted in the Guv'nor of that same year. The voice switch here affects both the pre- and post-gain filters of the pedal, allowing back in more upper frequencies without becoming too harsh. For me, I love the smoothness of the Shredmaster sound for lead playing, but I'm a huge fan of crisp high frequencies, especially in more rhythmic stuff, so I really love the optionality of this extra switch. There's also a few other cool improvements that he's made in this version, including the new soft touch relay style foot switch, which replaces the traditional latching foot switch of the previous version. With this new switch, which is the same one that's used on his mini glitch pedal, you can actually achieve flexible bypassing, which means that if you tap the switch, it turns on or off as expected, but if you hold the switch, it stays on for as long as you have your foot held down and instantly bypasses when you lift up. This is a really cool feature for inserting distorted bursts into clean playing, a la Pixies, or in the cases where you might not have a noise gate to handle the little bit of hum that comes with higher gain settings. Apart from that, this version also features improved capacitors that help eliminate unwanted feedback. So you've been hearing the Oxford Drive with a variety of my guitars into my Fender 68 Custom Deluxe Reverb amplifier, mic'd with a Shure SM57 going into my Mackie Onyx preamp and interface. This is just to give you a sense of how the pedal sounds with your garden variety Fender voice tube amplifier. If you want to hear how it sounds with my solid state Fender 85, a la Johnny, check out the video linked above and in the description. Now I'll do a little bit more knob tweaking just to give you a sense of the range of each of the controls. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this demo. Be sure to check out thekingofgear.com for more information. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon.